So yesterday I was facing a major dilemma. I got up yesterday morning and I noticed I had a bunch of emails from the AUR.
Oh, Lordy. Where am I at here? It looks like the internet's jacked. What's everybody doing? Everybody in the house on YouTube or what?
I have my usual Spotify and book. That's it.
Because all of a sudden I've been doing this stuff all morning, and it's now all of a sudden my package is delivering too slow.
I can't tell you that it's my fault because I know it's not. Because my Spotify's been
Well,
playing.
it depends on how long you've been playing it.
No, my Spotify's been playing for weeks.
Oh, well, that wouldn't be it then.
And I've been reading, so.
What are you doing in there, Byron?
Yeah, I'm playing my truck game, but it did start up slower though because of the internet.
Yeah, it's jacked.
I'm gonna try to.
And building an operating system, my packages won't download fast enough to get it to work. If this certain file is downloaded before it completes, this don't download, or this one, the one above it, don't download before all this stuff is done, it won't work. I have to start it all over again. Dang it, front here. If they would complete that internet package all the way down the street, it would work.
Yep.
44%. It ain't gonna make it. It's halfway there, and it's only 44%. Because you guys are jacking my stuff. But we'll blame it on Alan, all right, Byron?
Yep.
Everything's always his fault, huh?
Yep.
Oh, Uncle Al. Yep, it ain't gonna work. 50 something percent. I said that, and it looks like it might. Come on, man. Come on. Let's get her done. No conflicts. No conflicts. Come on. Using a custom kernel, so I could call it my distro instead of just running any moron could anybody that knows anything about Linux can download their own desktop environment, their own this and that and this and that, and they don't need to download an ISO that has all the settings on there already, which is it's way more convenient. But I mean, it just really, I don't know how to release this to the public just yet, because to me, a new distribution, let's say I'm making a Cinnamon version, without anything different or anything that improves, there's really no significant reason to release something, because anyone could take, like I could take my script that I'll show you. It looks like it's building. Oh my gosh, it's going to be over 2 gigs. I don't like that much. But anyone can do what I'm about ready to show you. Let's see. Word, Arch Linux. This is my script. This is my stuff. Anybody can do this. Take my thing here and do this in a terminal. Copy and paste this. I still got coffee. Thank you, Byron. And bring up a terminal. Copy and paste that. And the results, if they got all the dependencies on their computer, will be the same. Then installing this at ISO, with the exception, it will not say only Linux OS, it will say Arch Linux. So any place it would say only Linux OS, it would just say Arch Linux. But I mean, I could name my ISO, I can name the files anything. I can name it garbage and it would be garbage. Okay, so there's no, changing the name in your profile HH or whatever it's called to your to what you want to name it does not change anything. So when you're making your own operating system, you got to change. Something has to be different than, like, you could take the kernel and say, well, I know gaming works better with this kind of file system, ZSA, whatever. I can't think it's Z something. I know you get more performance out of this if I limit this, or when you edit the kernel and and stuff like that, then, and you're not using the kernel, then it's yours. And if it's not, if you're using just theirs, then it's just a spin. I mean, that's just the way it is. I didn't even know that. I learned that from some YouTubers that I watch. That's how I learned, watching other people succeed and fail, succeed and fail. Then they eventually succeeded. So I took their cue, and that's why I'm making my own, because I really don't care. Of course, if I do something, I think it's spectacular, or I think it's really, really good, I'll release it. I did say I was going to release it soon, but then I got to thinking, I don't, in the state it's in, maybe saying I'll release it soon was a little bit vague or a little bit premature, because I used theming from, like, the Calamares installer. I have not branded it to me. I have not altered anything, because I am extremely new to the Calamares installer. I'm not new to using it. I'm just new to configuring it to install my stuff. So I mean, I've tested at least 100 or two different distros out, different versions of the same. I've tested a lot of ISOs out, so I know how to install with Calamares. I mean, it's a 10-year-old or younger could use the Calamares installer. So I mean, it's that stupid simple. But the configuration and getting it to work, I don't know too many 10-year-olds that could do that. I don't know. But it obviously can be done, or it wouldn't be working. But I am very new to that. I could make an ISO with my stuff, all my settings, everything like that, all my configurations, all my edits. I can make it into an ISO. But what I was having an issue with was in Arch. I was getting the same splash screen. I was getting the same screen that you get when you install Arch with the Arch install script. So I was trying to manipulate, or and I still haven't abandoned that project, but getting using that same method, because using that same method, I could keep the ISO smaller, because Calamares isn't the smallest package on the planet. So I'm trying to work it to where, instead of it just installing it installs my package list instead of the one that comes with the Arches. The standard Arch ISO program. So it's a work in progress. I'm not in a rush, if I thought it was really it was like one of those things where if you don't do it quick, it'll be lost. If I thought it was something like that, then I'd pop it on my website and let the world download it. But I haven't even, once I get this to work, it says it's 90%. Once this works, then that's when I take the operating system and I don't want it to break, but I will do everything I can think of that has caused systems to break before, and I will take it to the max. I will take the what I'll do is I'll take the resources beyond what it should do. So what I'll do first is I will test it in a VM environment, and what I can do there is, you know, instead of having 12 processors or whatever, I'll just limit that, and then I will do things that on that will generally lag a system out, or try to break it, when I lock it up. I will try to test it, go through the max, and then if I don't have it, if it doesn't lock up, if it locks up, then I gotta go back to work. You gotta go to the kernel, and you gotta add more. There's places that you edit that you can limit how many threads. You could limit things, and I'm thinking that I've got my certain things limited to 12 or 64. I can't remember, but you just got to change it until it works, until it doesn't break for you, and then hopefully it don't break for anybody else, right? So, but what you got to do is you got to understand, people around the world will have a better machine than you, so you can't really limit it to what you're running, because if you do, if someone, it's not going to work, or it's not going to, nobody's going to benefit having 64. If you limit it to like 12 processors, and they've got, say 64, say they spent, the $4,000, whatever it costs, then they're not going to be any benefits. I think that's how it works. I could be wrong, but that shows that it worked. I'm going to keep that up, and I'm going to bring up VirtualBox here. Let's just test this out. Let's see here. Settings. Let's go to storage. I'm going to remove that for the sake of argument, and I'm going to bring it back. Drive. Let's see here. Add. Where was this at? Is that in the right spot? Yes, the 14th. Okay. Choose. Okay. Now let's see. Start. Splash screen comes up, and let's hit this and see if it snags, see what it does here. It looks like it's snagging on triggering U events. I wonder why it's snagging. See if it shouldn't have any errors, because you wouldn't think that the it would work at all with errors. So let's search here, find a error. son of a biscuit eater. Maybe it's just too much for the BM. So let's up it up a little bit. Settings. That's plenty of memory. Let's give this thing 6. Give it some more juice there. See if it changes anything. Triggering U events. It's certainly not working, is it? So it's a live failure. But the thing is, you're really not failed until you give up. Because, you know, I could give up and then I failed. Because I failed, and if I give up, knowing that other people can do this, then I truly have I failed myself. So I don't know why that is not working. Now let me try, you know, just for the sake of argument, let me just try to build a new, we'll call this Fedora. We'll bring up another wow, there wasn't some juice. Maybe, did I not? No, I did. Huh. Well, that's really refreshing that that's not working. It could actually be my virtual box because I have used that ISO. It says no such file. System control. Ah. So it's a service. No directory. That could be my build of Fedora that I've used. So let's see. Try one more. What do I want to try? Arch. We'll just try a regular old Arch O Linux. Did I end the other one? I don't know why I do biodirection. I don't even test it out during a. Oh, I know what I may not have done. No, I totally maxed it out for there. Let's just try Arch here. Regular old graphical, regular old Arch. It looks like it's going to work. Now it's hanging on trigger events too. So it looks like it could be, since it could be a virtual box. We'll take this down. I will bring a terminal up here. Where's my scripts? Let's see. Wonder why it ain't. I don't have the repo? Okay. Oh, crap. Maybe it's Arch. I think I might need the Arch. Or always search. Alright, so now come on, man. Come on, man. Liar. Liar. So, that's not true. I've used that many, many times. So I cannot test it on stream. Something has something's failing in a VM. So I am going to try this out on bare metal. Well, what I can do is I will make the ISO, flash it, I'm going to use the flash drive I have in here. It's not my 3.0, but nothing on there. Good deal. Polina Etcher. Flash from file. Where is it at? Home. It's burning. Wonder how hot my CPU is running. Oh heck, Snaporama. We're in good shape. I'm wondering if I should just stick with Arch. Both of these, I used to do Debian, Arch, Fedora, and OpenSUSE. I didn't like zip. I mean, a lot of things worked in OpenSUSE, but it was just something about it I didn't care for, and I don't remember what it is exactly, but a package that I like, I just couldn't figure it out. But now that I'm better at Linux, I could try it again, because I've tried that a long time ago, so I might just give it a whirl again, see if I can do anything with it. But even if I don't come up with my own, I could always check a system out and make it better, and then contact the developer and say, hey, this is what I've done, check it out, it's yours, do what you want with it, type of a deal. But I really like Arch. Yeah, this failure you seen on stream isn't a Arch issue or anything. It looks like, honestly, it's a virtual box issue. It seems like when they did this last update that things broke. And it was broke worse too, because I couldn't even start a VM up. I had to try everything out on bare metal, and what happened with that was one instance I was doing it, somehow I lost 4 terabytes, a 4 terabyte hard disk drive, so I lost my everything that I've ever done on Linux was on that, and I lost it. You know, you'd think you have it on your backup drive, it would be saved. Something happened, and it took a dump, so yeah. So I have to try it on bare metal, and what happens is when you get to a certain place, when you've surpassed the when you've gotten past the partitioning part and your drives are wiped, then there is 0 operating system on your machine. Okay, that's where the backup drive comes in, right? So when you have nothing on your machine, that machine is dead until you can get another ISO burnt to an image. So you would physically have to have another machine in your house with the ISO, with, you know, everything on it, or your computer is currently a $2,000 paperweight. So it's just how it is. You gotta have an ISO on a USB. Oh, you know, yeah. So if the ISO fails, then you're screwed. But if it doesn't fail, then you just got what's on the USB stick. What's up, Byron? You sure?
Yep.
Thank you, buddy. You're all right. I don't care what they say about you behind your back. You're a good boy. You're a good boy for other reasons, not just because you bring me coffee without me having to ask for it. That just makes you special. And people should think you're special because of that. So. Yeah, this process with this 2.0 with this flash drive is like at least 15 years old. I mean, it's been around a long time. It's only a 16 gigger. My 3.0 is 125 gigger. It's phenomenal. I mean, it goes. This has already been done. The flashing and the validating process together is faster than just the flashing on this. So I mean, they're that phenomenal, that much faster. So if you have 2.0 flash drives hanging around and ask yourself if it's worth it having the others, yep. Because guess what? One of our most valuable asset is time. It's very, very valuable. Because, unfortunately, we are affected by time, space, and matter, unlike God, who is not affected by time, space, and matter. So, our time is extremely valuable. It's extremely important. So, you want to utilize your time wisely. Well, thank you, sir. You're all right, Byron. I certainly do appreciate it, buddy. Ooh, you sure fill her up to the rim, don't you?
Yep.
Oh, man. Tastes just like I made it. Thank you, buddy.
Yep.
baby. Burn. How big is this ISO? Did I check it? .2 gigs. For 2.2 gigs, this should have some pretty pimp stuff on it. And I think really the reason it's that big is because it's got the Calamares installer. But there's one thing you could do, which I don't know how, I can't configure this yet. I can tell you that straight up. In all transparency, I cannot. Calamares can be set up to where when you're installing your operating system, it gives you a list of choices about packages that you want. So at that point, I mean, you could choose to not necessarily have it on the ISO, I think, but you could have it to where it will. Calamares don't download anything. It's Arch ISO that does the work. That work, I'm pretty sure, but you could choose to do it that way instead of having it go on the disk. So maybe that will make the ISO smaller because you got the choice of, someone's got the choice of install that. But having said that, I mean, that it's really not that extravagant either. I mean, that's really, the Calamares is basically does the work for you, so you don't have to build an ISO or your own distro. If you could just configure Calamares and have all those packages to choose from, sort of like Arco Linux does, then you don't need to build your own. But I like to do it. I'm still going to do it. I'm going to tweak the kernel until I'm just really happy, and all that kind of stuff. Build it, and if it works, if it installs, great. Then I'll release it, I guess. And people will either flame me or they say, "Hey, you did a good job." But hopefully, the Linux community is pretty good about say, "Hey, this is pretty much just a spin." I mean, you got to be able to take constructive criticism. If you can't take criticism in Linux, then just don't even try to do any development yourself. Just try distro out. If you like it, go for it. But don't, if you're a developer and you're developing your own operating system and you cannot take constructive criticism or criticism at all, then don't release it. Don't just use it for yourself. Because if you can't take constructive criticism, then it's kind of hard to develop. I mean, if you're too content in your work that if you can't learn, then you can really never update your product. I mean, you could never really make it better because it can't be better according to you. If you can't take criticism and you can't apply what you learn, then you can't be taught. I mean, so, just stay away from the development and just use the operating system, and just don't develop anything. You cannot be criticized, and that makes you that angry, and you're in denial. Do not develop jack. I know people will flame me. I'm looking forward to learning from mistakes that I've made. One of my favorite Arch operating systems, he learns, he updates, he changes backing, he changes he backs it on. I mean, he changes things, so I can too, right? Anyway, God bless. I'm going to end this video and try this on bare metal.